Good evening and welcome to SAFC Fan TV and another edition of Thursday Night Live with myself, Wee Philly. He's back. Jacob down south, he's had COVID. Just getting over it, but he's back on air. How you doing now? You feeling, Jacob?
Surviving. I've been better, put it that way. Still haven't got my taste or smell, but surviving at least. Hopefully back on the mend very soon.
Right, fair enough. Another man who's also suffered from COVID. He's been there, done it, got the T-shirt, the mad mistake there. How are you doing, Terry?
Yes, champion, happy days. Thursday, almost time for the weekend. Closer to the weekend it gets, the better and happier I feel.
No, but you see, it's coming to my working week now, isn't it? So that's it for me. And joined by Jack Shields. Hi, Jack. Have you had a good day?
That's been good. I'm a bit disappointed it's not been as warm today as it was recently. But yeah, like he says, like Terry says, looking forward to the weekend.
Yeah, but if you're a proper working man like me and Terry and Jacob and all that, you haven't got time to get your Speedos on and get in that garden, have you? Right, just before we start, I do want to give a shout out to our sponsors, the One Football app. This is a superb app. It's the only app any football fan should ever need. It's got all your information on Sunderland AFC and basically any other football team you may want to follow as well. It's got players' stats on there. So you can keep up to date with everything what's happening in your club. All the up-to-date latest news are all available on the app. If you want to download that, it is free to download and there is a link in the description below. So once again, thanks very much to One Football for sponsoring SAFC Fan TV. Right then, fellas, it was announced today then that's before we start, by the way, we are available on the live chat as we are live. So if you want to join in the show, you can do so via that. It was announced by the club today. Denver Hume has signed a 2-year deal with a further 1 year if the club decide they want to do that. So we've got to ask the question. I thought Denver Hume wanted away. There were the noises he seemed to be making. So are you happy that he signed? Should he have signed? Is he going to be committed to the club? Jack, do you want to start us with that?
I think he'll be committed to the club, Phil, but I think if you'd said before we got the 2 or 3 in later on, like Shirkin and 1 or 2 other players, I would have been like, yeah, I'm happy. But now I don't really think, do we really need Denver Hume now? I think there's some Sunderland fans will be looking at it thinking, He made his feelings clear, didn't he, when he didn't sign the contract straight away? And it's like we're kind of, I'll go to Sunderland because I don't really have any other options. So, I mean, I don't mind Denver Hume as a player, but I think he probably will be committed now. But I just think I don't think we really needed him anymore. You know what I mean? I think we were desperate for him earlier in the window, and now we look like we've got plenty more squad options because we've brought in lots of players towards the end of the window. I don't really think he's guaranteed to get his place every week, to be honest.
Well, you see, like you said, he's not done bad for us, but for me, he's blotted his copybook a little bit, and he's, you know, I mean, you want that. They've always said, you know, you'd rather have players who want to be here than players, you know, who are just here because, like I said, they couldn't find anywhere else to go. Just very quickly before we move on, shout out to SAFC Jacks. Las Palmas Mackham is always first in there. Robert Foster's on there. Jeff Holcroft, the Spanner Man, Colin Major, Mark Robinson, and Richie Dickio, and even the Mad Mistake says hello to everybody as well. Terry, Denver Hume, your thoughts on him?
He's only a young lad, isn't he? Just a young lad. I don't know how much say and how much control the agents have over his career. I don't know whether they have they basically told him to don't do anything. I'll sort you out a decent contract, see what comes in, offers comes in. He's been injured for a while as well, so there was no real great rush to get him signed up. He couldn't as if he could start playing straight away from the first game of the season because he couldn't. He wouldn't even be available for probably another 2 months till he's fully fit, I would have thought. And like people said, he's not going to walk straight back onto the side because Serkin's ahead of him now, and Serkin's done nothing wrong. So he's going to have to find a way to get back into the team. It's going to take him a good couple of months to get proper match fit, I think. So, you know, end of the day, he's a young lad. And we all make mistakes along the way. It's not a disastrous mistake. He just wanted to try and get more money, better himself. And like I said, the agents have got a lot to answer for in football these days. So I'm quite happy he signed the contract. I'm pleased he's back. I wish him all the best. I wish he'd smiled more in the photographs, mind. He looks a bit miserable, like, doesn't he? That's the only doubt. If a big grin on his face, I'd have been happier. But it looks like someone's like just take a photograph and he just looks miserable as sin, doesn't he? But at the end of the day, hopefully he'll prove us all wrong by coming back and playing good football.
Well, you know, it's nice of you to say that, Terry, because you see the niceness in everybody. Richie Diggio says, nice of Denver to sign for us after realising that nobody else wanted him. Robert Foster says the same. Hume wanted away, but nobody wanted him. So there's, as you can see, just by, you know, you're saying, you know, you cannot blame him. I mean, it could be down to agents. We know what agents are like. And it's one of them things, you know, if when you're young and somebody wants to offer you more money, I suppose why not? But you know what football fans are like. Also, just very quickly, Sharky says, are you streaming on Saturday? Yes, Tommy will be doing a live stream up in Scotland of the game as per usual. And we must give a shout out to the Black Cat podcast who've donated £2 via the super chat. Can I have a round of applause, please, for Carl and the team at the Black Cat, the Black Cat podcast. Will Philly be at the game? Yes. Terry, you want in there?
Yeah, I thought he's away in Holland this weekend.
Who's that?
Who's in Holland?
The guy who does the live streams.
Oh yeah, Tommy.
Him and his parrot.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, he's going to Holland. He's over in Holland doing.
Having a weekend break, isn't he? Having a weekend break, a little holiday. Yeah, he takes his parrot with him as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's in Amsterdam though, so you can never know what might happen. Just very quickly,
there's a story there somewhere, isn't there?
Definitely. Just very quickly, then, as you can see, the Black Cat podcast have donated via the super chat. It is free to chat to us, and it's purely voluntary. If you want to donate that way, there is a little $sign. If you click on that below the live chat and select the amount, and all funds are gratefully accepted and will help us grow the channel quicker. Jacob, you've been holed up in your house, in your bed, in your sick bed, feeling sorry for yourself with that dreaded COVID. But your day's been brightened by Denver Hume signing, has it?
It's debatable. I mean, it goes back to what a lot of Sunderland fans have been saying on Twitter. You know, if he really wanted to stay, he would have signed a new contract a couple of weeks back. But he's here now, and I'm going with the attitude of that type of fan where if he's your player, you've got to back him. You just have to forget about what's happened in the past. It's like the Harry Kane scenario this summer where he wanted away and eventually he's ended up staying at Tottenham. But listen, Denver Hume, he was very unlucky of injury problems he had last season, and if he was fully fit, would he have made a potential difference to the side? There's no doubt on his day he can be an effective left back. Some would question marks about his defending, but going forward, you know, he's a left back that can offer a lot of pace on that left hand side, put decent crosses into the box. But it will be tasty competition for the first choice left back slot now with Sirkin, who we've signed from Spurs in the summers. But overall, I think, like what Terry said, I think his fitness will come under question because I don't think he's had much of a pre-season, so I don't think he will be involved properly in the side for the next few weeks. I think Sirkin will be first choice, but he is an effective, if he is second choice at left back, he is, I would say, an effective squad player to have over the course of the season. So overall, I would say relatively happy he signed a new deal, but I still think there is a lot of potential to come with Daniel Sirkin at left back. I think he just needs to have time and patience from our fan base.
Right, fair enough, Jacob. Marion Trowles says, hello, everyone. Nice to see you all back and get well soon, Jacob. So there you go. You got a little, you got a fan there. Jacob, are you a little bit disappointed then that Harry Kane stayed with your rivals? Really?
I can give to.
Yeah, right. Okay. Just very quickly as well, then, Danny, we've Kieran Gale says, fantastic left backs for League One in Sirkin and Hume. I agree. I mean, the signings have been pretty good. And we need to give a shout out to our newest member, Danny Hill, has joined us for $1.99 a month. Thank you very much, Danny, for doing that. So just very quickly as well, we do have the members scheme, less than 50 pence a week. You get all sorts of members perks. Details of how you join that are in the description if you would like to contribute that way. Right then, so I was looking at sort of news on the website before we came on air, and Aiden O'Brien voted player of the round for the second round of the Carabao Cup, obviously for his performance against Blackpool. So Aiden O'Brien, forgotten man, should he have a bigger part to play? I mean, bearing in mind he got that hat trick down at Blackpool. Terry?
Well, I think for me, he starts on the bench, obviously. And if Ross Stewart gets tired, then Aiden O'Brien comes on. You can also take possibly McGeady's place. I don't know. Not at the beginning, later on in the match, but definitely start all the cup matches, 100%. I mean, every single cup match, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Papa John's Trophy Cup. Exactly. Get him starting the whole lot. He deserves it. On the bench, he can come on if Ross Stewart picks up a niggle or it's not fit enough for me. But yeah, I'm pleased he's here. I'm pleased he didn't go out on loan.
Right, okay, so subs bench, so you think he should at least should he get on every game then? Do you think off the bench he should at least get some minutes rather than just playing the cup games?
Definitely should get some minutes. I would bring him up at 60, 70 minutes in a match, definitely, 100%. If Ross Stewart's having an off game.
Right, fair enough. Jacob, what about you? Aiden O'Brien, I mean, he was, we was down at Blackpool and, you can't knock the guy because, we was all screaming out for buying, needing a forward, and he pops up and does that. So should he have a bigger part?
Well, I think obviously there's no doubt in the system that we're playing right now, Ross Stewart is the main man, but he's still a terrific option to come off the bench. But correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I think in that game against Blackpool, looking at the system we played, he played sort of on the left-hand side. He's done that a few times in a Sunderland shirt, which also, if we continue with that attacking system, with him being on the left of a front three that we play, it is an option to have. And like Terry said, I think he'll be an effective player in the cup games this season. I think, even though I think Ross Stewart will be the main man up top in the league games, I think terrific option coming off the... I've always liked him. I mean, last season, I think a lot of people don't give him enough credit. If you look at the goals that Charlie White scored, I think him playing up front with him, he played a part in a lot of the link-up play, which led to Charlie White scoring. So he's a terrific hold-up striker, I think, for League One. And yeah, I still believe he can make a significant contribution when called upon this season. Good experience, considering we've got him from the division, but is it above? I think it was a free transfer from Millwall. It was a Phil Parkinson signing, but still a good player to have for this division. I like Aiden O'Brien. I think he can make a significant contribution as the season goes along.
Terry, you want in there?
And also, I do believe that this season will suit Aiden O'Brien more than last season. I think the change in midfield with Dan Neil, definitely getting those balls through the middle will suit Aiden O'Brien completely.
Fair enough. Well, already on the chat here, SAFC Jack says Huggins and Sirkin are better already, in his opinion. Are you saying, Jacob, are you saying that O'Brien could actually grab one of them players, one of them places, sort of in that three behind Stewart? Do you think he deserves a place there?
Well, I think it could all depend on the lad we've got, the German lad we've got on loan as well. Is it Dejago? I think he can play on both sides as well. So I think that will provide healthy attacking competition. But it's not ruling it out. I mean, don't forget, being down in League One, a lot of games, injuries could come to the surface. So we might have no choice but to call upon Aiden O'Brien. But I have faith he can come in and do a job. I really do. Yeah.
Right. Well, Jeff Holcroft, Spannerman says, all this competition for places has got to be good. Jack?
Yeah, I think touch on the point about style of play. I think Aiden O'Brien is someone that will really suit the style of play that Lee Johnson plays. I think I was very surprised he didn't start against Wickham last week, because 2 weeks ago, because he scored a hat trick, and I thought he would have been, if you can't get a start when you've scored a hat trick, when can you? But I do think that over the course of the season, his style of play in terms of he does a lot of the hard stuff that you don't notice. Do you know what I mean? He's quite he's one of those players that, you know what I mean? He'll do the hard yards, he'll do the graphing and the tackling and the running and draw defenders out of position and things. And you don't necessarily notice them, really, but I do think you notice him when he doesn't play. Sometimes I don't think we're quite as intense in terms of off the ball and our intensity in the press when he doesn't play, in my opinion. So I don't think he gets in our team now. I don't think he guarantees starting. But when you consider how many games we've got, we're still very early days in the season, aren't we? We played, 5 league games. We're going to have 41 more league games, cup games. It definitely features, in and around the team, but unfortunately not as a starter. But I think the fact we've got squad depth like that now, that you have options like Aiden O'Brien to come off the bench, maybe against a tired defence, you know what I mean? Tired defences that are going to pack the defence, make it difficult for us. If we can bring someone like Aiden O'Brien on, with the running and the energy that he has, you know what I mean? It could be just the difference that we need in certain games.
Right. Dean SAFC on the chat says, push Hume further forward. He said, the thing is, I mean, as it was touched on with Jeff there, the competition for places is what it's all about. I mean, I can't remember in recent times watching Sunderland that we seem to have so many sort of different positions covered, where, you would normally say, right, the team picks itself, that goes there, and there. But now we're sort of saying, well, you could easily put him in. And, I mean, this is it, Diaku, the German kid. I mean,
Diago, yeah.
I mean, he's, on paper, he looks like he's going to be, a great addition to the squad, but you're thinking, who's going to get left out here now, because which is a good thing. I mean, it's, and I can't remember, like I say, this happening at Sunderland for quite a while, where there's going to be competition for places, and it's quite exciting, really. Obviously, we didn't have the game last week because of the international break, and it was postponed when we should have played Sheffield Wednesday. But we still stayed top. And I know there was only 3 or 4 games played, but at least we're still top. But we move on to Accrington Stanley on Saturday, and it's a battle of the top 2. It's first v second already. John Coleman, their manager, been there since 2014. I know they've played an extra game. I know it's early in the season, but do you think Accrington are going to sort of be a team what could hover around the playoffs, or is it just a false start for them, Jack?
I don't see them getting in the playoffs, Phil, I'm afraid. I think they've had a decent start, and you mentioned John Coleman. I think he's a very good manager at this level for what Accrington are, essentially a pretty small football club that, in my opinion, to be in League One, I mean, don't mean to come across as an arrogant Sunderland fan, but to be mixing it with the likes of us and Sheffield Wednesday and Portsmouth and teams like that, I think Accrington are doing very, very well, just staying, in a comfortable position. I don't think they'll get in the playoffs, possibly mid-table season, but I do think they have the ability to cause us problems. I think if we rest on our laurels, I think, we come into it like, we started the season well with Sunderland, which should be a walk. Well, that's happened in the past, hasn't it? Whereby we've had home games against smaller teams, and we just think, it's 3 points. We'll almost have the points on the table already. Do you know what I mean? It's like, we've won that, and I think unless we approach it in the right way, we could come unstuck. But I think as long as we play with an intensity and play with a high urgency like we have, we're going to create chances. I think there's a real feel-good factor about the club at the minute, and I think as long as we approach the game in the right way, we should win on Saturday.
Well, there you go. You're falling into the trap as well. There you go. We should win. When we played them, the last time we played them, which was on the 24th of April at home.
3-3 draw, isn't it?
it was a 3-3 draw. So, and let's get the stats up on that. We was winning. Let's have a look. It was 2-0 up at half time. 2 goals from Charlie White within 11 minutes. It looked like we were cruising. And then they pulled it back to 2-2. Yeah, we scored in the 83rd minute with Max Power. And then they scored 2 minutes later. So that was a 3-3 draw. So there you go. Accrington Stanley at home. Like you say, it's typical of us Sunderland fans saying, well, it's Accrington Stanley, playing at home. But I think we're a lot better side this time as well. We won in the fixture when we played them down there as well, which was played in the March. We had a 2-0 win. Jacob, do you think Accrington, could be up there thereabouts at the end of the season?
They're a decent attacking side from the games I've watched recently. John Coleman, I think, he is a good manager for this division, but I think playoffs is too high of a push for them. But I think that they'll have a good, solid season. I think a mid-table finish for them at best is where they'll be come May next year. But Saturday, listen, I know we picked up a 3-3 draw against them at the Stadium of Light last season, but the game on Saturday, it's a different kettle of fish. We've got fans in the stadium. We've got a team banging confidence in all positions. I think we've got a solid unit on the defensive point of view, taken into account when we picked up that 3-3 draw against Accrington. It was when we were on that terrible run from March till the end of the season where it was just 1 win in 10. I think we got in that terrible run we had. So, yeah, I think Saturday it's important we don't take them lightly, but we should have enough firepower to get over the line considering we're at home and fans are back in the stadium and with the quality we've added to our squad as well.
Right, fair enough. Casual Observer says, go on, Terry, lad, I heard you were enjoying some beers this after.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Oh, well, I'm only,
off the drink.
I'm only reading out what he says. I thought, man,
I've never had a drink since last night. I mean, Saturday.
Oh,
good
God.
Man.
John Forbes says Accrington have come a long way. Yeah, they have. David Miller says, remember the McGeady fallout from Accrington, the home game, a couple of years ago.
On a Friday night, wasn't it? 2-2.
You'll have to jog my memory. What happened there, Jacob?
I think it was 2-2. It was in front of the Sky Sports cameras. We were 2-0 down. McGeady got a late equaliser. I think we had various chances to win the game even. But I think it was Lewis Morgan, who we had on loan that season, came on a podcast and said at full time, McGeady in the dressing room after that game was just singling out a lot of players saying that you'll never play higher than this division. And it was the debate where fans were talking about McGeady being too hot-headed for the dressing room, and then eventually it led to when Parkinson came in, fans questioning behind the scenes whether he was a bad apple in the dressing room.
Right, so that all kicks off after
yeah.
Well, I think it's he's in a different place now, and he seems to be all right. A quick shout out again to Carl, the Black Cat Podcast, who is chucking money at us. Thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Can I have a round of applause, please, for the Black Cat Podcast? Don't forget, it's a fantastic YouTube channel as well. If you haven't checked it out, make sure you give that a visit and go and subscribe as well. He's asking, what's everyone's opinion that is this Sunderland's best chance of getting out of League One after the start we've had? I'll tell you what. We'll go to you, Terry, first on Accrington. Your thoughts on? Do you think they could be pushing, or are they just up there for to give us?
Let's get one thing straight, right? We're talking about a different team this season than last season, so the 3-3 draw has no bearing at all. Stats have no bearing on this game at all. It's a different game, different team, almost a brand new setup. We didn't have Winchester at right back. We didn't have Doyle, we didn't have Sirkin, we didn't have Patterson in goal. Luke O'Nien wasn't in the midfield. Dan Neil wasn't starting. Embleton wasn't playing. Stewart probably wasn't even playing. We had Gooch and McGeady. We got 2 players and Flanagan, who possibly started against Accrington Stanley that day. So the 3-3 draw, just throw it out the window. It makes no difference whatsoever. Accrington Stanley, have this thing of starting pretty well at the beginning of the season. So they've had a good start. They've won 4, drawn. They've lost 2. We haven't drawn yet. Out of the 10 games, 11 games we both played, never drawn a game yet. Will Stanley finish in the top half? Probably mid-table for me. And mid-table is really good for Accrington and Stanley. I wish them all the best, you know. I hope they do. But for the size of the crowd they have and the club, they do really well for me to stay in League One and mid-table. So I do wish them all the best. But the team I think will start, I mean, I'll show you now before we get going.
Oh, here's the whiteboard coming in. Come on, here we go.
The team, I do think that he will start on Saturday. If I can get that right.
Here we go.
Bearing the fact that the only thing I'm not sure about, the only question mark I have is Patterson. Because Hoffman, I don't know how he stands at this moment in time with his fitness and what he thinks about Hoffman. So for me, Patterson doesn't deserve to be dropped. But that's the only question mark on the side. Serkin will start, Winchester will start. Flanagan and Doyle, if they come back and the pass a COVID test, have negative results, them 2 will start. 9 and Neil McGeady, Gooch, Embleton, Stewart. For me, Lee Johnson's pretty easy to read. For me, that's what will start. Only question mark is Patterson.
No Pritchard?
On the bench.
I see this.
He won't drop Embleton. He's got this thing with McGeady. He's got this thing with McGeady at this moment in time. McGeady's had a rest now. He hasn't been firing well, but McGeady's had a good rest. Yeah. So if McGeady doesn't fire this weekend, then he could drop McGeady. But McGeady we should see the best of McGeady this weekend.
Yeah, I think the goal he'll get. Like you said, I suppose it depends on his fitness, but I think he'll put the new guy in goal. But basically, Terry, you're saying you're falling into the trap. What, like Jack says, you've got the points in the bag already.
They're not in the bag. No, you've got to earn the points. Simple as. You've got to earn the right to win. But if we put the application there, we play like we played the first 5 games of the season. There is no reason why we cannot take 3 points.
Right. Okay.
There's nothing wrong with confidence.
There's
just don't be arrogant and cocky about it.
Oh, right. Okay. Just call it confidence then. Points are in the bag. I'm just confident. I'm not being arrogant and cocky.
Points are never in the bag, Philly. Never in the bag.
Right. All right. Right. Just very quickly then, Carl asked the question. Is this our best chance again at League One? I mean, because it's still early days, but it's like I said, it's looking better than it's looked for a few years. Jacob, our best chance this time, do you reckon?
For me, Philly, it's too early to call. For me, listen, we're only a few games in. I know we're top at the moment, but even though I was sucked into after that Wickham game singing "We're top of the league," I think the more appropriate time for singing songs like that is come April, May next year. I think this season, I'm just going in with the attitude, taking one game at a time, and then evaluating properly on the success of the team come the crunch time, April, May next year. So too early to call.
Right, fair enough. Terry, is it our best chance this season, do you reckon?
As a group once said, things can only get better. I do think so. I think we'll get promoted this season. If Lee Johnson can get this team promoted this season, well, come on, we can do it this season. A young, talented squad like that, I think that looks really rosy.
As a group once said, can you not remember who it was then?
D. Ream.
Yay!
Things can only get better.
Oh, dear. Someone mute him.
Now I've got you and you and you, yeah. Things can only get better. Can only get better. Now I've found you.
Let's get rid of him. There you go. Sing away all he wants.
Sing on his own.
Oh, what's he done now? Jack, is this our best chance again at this league? I mean, the years we've been in it now, Duran, this is our best chance.
I think this is probably the most what's the word I'm looking for? Most suitable squad for getting out of this league. I think we've tried to pass our way out and play football our way out with Jack Ross, and that didn't work. We tried to go a long ball with Phil Parkinson and back to basics, and that hasn't worked. And I think Lee Johnson now has got the right squad together. We've got pace in the team. We've got a bit of athleticism. And I think we are getting there. And I think not just the squad, though, Phil. I think I'm happy. I'm a bit more content now with the way the club's going. because I think we're putting the groundwork in for the future now. We've got KLD as the owner. I'm far more happy with him than I was with Stuart Donald and co. We've got Speakman in, which I think the recruitment this summer has been the best summer we've had in terms of getting players in and out for a long, long time. And I think the squad's getting there. I do think we should be aiming for promotion with Sunderland in League One. We should always be aiming for promotion. But I think it's difficult to say. But if we don't get promotion, I hope fans aren't too critical, because I really do think we're getting there. But I'm going to be positive and stick my neck on the line. I think we're going to be promoted this season. I really do.
Right, nice one. Just very quickly then, 127 on the stream at the moment, 41 likes. It'll take you a second to just hit the thumbs up. If you do that, that'd be much appreciated. And don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, it's free to subscribe. If you could do that, that would help us as well. Right, we're just gonna disappear for 30 seconds while I blow my nose. Terry has a cough, and the other two lads go and have a wait, and we'll be back in 30 seconds. Thank you to OneFootball for sponsoring SAFC Fan TV. It's the only football app you will ever need to keep bang up to date with all the latest news on Sunderland AFC. The OneFootball app gives you upcoming fixtures on your team and, of course, results from previous games. See where you stand in the league. Every major league is on the app, so it's easy to check out the league tables. You can download the app via the link in the description below. And thanks once again to OneFootball for sponsoring SAFC Fan TV. Thanks, Phil, in the studio. Back to me in the other studio. Right. Thanks to OneFootball for sponsoring us. Right, just very quickly, I'll tell you what we'll do before we move on. Back to the Accrington game. I'd just like a score prediction from you. To Terry's got the team he thinks is going to play there. Terry, have we got a score prediction from you? What? It's all right.
It's not 40-0, it's 4-0.
Right, not cocky and arrogant, just confident.
It's a score prediction, isn't it?
It is. Nice, comfortable 4-0 win for Terry. Jack?
2-0 to Sunderland. Ross Stewart, first goal scorer.
Oh. 2-0, Ross Stewart first. Are you going to put some cash on that then?
I might. I never know, Phil. I might just stick a couple of pound on that if I fancy it still on Saturday. By Saturday, I might have changed my opinion, though. You know what I mean? So I never know.
Right. Already we've got some predictions coming in. John Treborian says 5-0 to the lads, so he's going one better than you, Terry. Jacob, how confident are you for Saturday?
Yeah, relatively confident. I think our firepower will be too much for them. 3-0 to the lads. Ross Stewart brace like the Wickham game.
3-0. Right, well, I'm going to go for a clean sheet as well. So my 3-1 bet's going to be up the Swanee, but I don't mind doing that. I'm probably going to go the same as you, Jacob. I think 3-0 will be a nice, comfortable win. I'd just like to hope that we get those 3 goals in the first half and we're not 1-0 with running out of time, because there's nothing worse than watching the game when it's like that. David Walker says 2-1. Carl says 1-0. Stewart to score. So the prediction coming in. And Stephen Hensel, friend of the show, says 6-0. So a nice 6-0 there. That would be fun. Right, and so that's Saturday taken care of. I want to once again. I was having a look at the website and trying to get breaking news, what they've got, trying to get out to supporters. And if you're not online, or you don't have access to the club website, the ticket office has cropped up again, and the club would like you to know that there's new opening hours now for the ticket office, which are when there's a home game on a Saturday. The ticket office will be on a Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. When the home game is on a Tuesday, then the ticket office will be open on the Monday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The ticket office will not open prior to away games unless it is publicised. So they've also said the club shop will remain closed. We know we briefly touched on this. There was an explanation came from the club about COVID and stuff like that. I think what we're going to have to do, because I would like an answer from the club on why on why the club shop isn't open. So I
it's on the shop window.
It says what?
Basically says due to contracts, obviously because it's refurbishing the shop, due to ongoing contracts, it's going to be open at some point in September.
So it's because of a refurb, is that what they're saying?
Yeah, basically the contractors that are in doing the refurb are probably a little bit slow, a little bit behind or whatever it is. So it's being delayed, so it's going to be open in September. Doesn't say when in September, but that's what it says. That's what it said last Sunday.
Because Stuart Donald wanted to put the shop where the ticket office is, which, to be fair, makes a lot of sense. You know, you come in that way at the ground. You want your merchandise there to go, I'm here, come and buy me. You know, whereas having to walk all the way around to where the shop is.
Well, that's clearly not going to happen, is it?
Well,
if the ticket office is open.
Yeah, but I think there was going to. It looks to me that they're trying to face the ticket office out. That's what I was going to ask you. Do you think the fact that they're only opening, you know, a small window is the fact that it's to encourage online sales? Jacob, do you think that's the reasoning around that?
It's debatable, but I'm not sure really. I think it will just be, is it a question of how it pans out over the course of the future? But I can understand what you're saying, Philly, regarding the club shop and particularly also the ticket office as well.
Right, okay. And I mean, I know we've touched on it before. There's nothing wrong with you know, going all online, doing online sales and stuff like that. It's just, as we've said, it's going from one extreme to the other with no transition period. Just very quickly, Hogan, which is Dino's dad, has said, you do realise that Accrington is second top. We will win, but we won't keep a clean sheet. Jack, your thoughts on the ticket office? The windows that they're opening now are getting smaller and smaller, it would seem. Is this just a way? Is it their way of trying to nudge people into online sales? Do you reckon?
I think it would be beneficial to the club. Yes, Phil. I think if more people were going online, it's probably quicker and smoother and easier. But I mean, you've got a great big building there. If you're not going to have the ticket office open, you know, there might be an argument. You know, not for me to give Stuart Donald a lot of praise. I don't really like the gentleman, but there might be something in the idea behind turning that into something merchandise related, because that's it. If you're not going to use the ticket office, you know, that's a good building. That, you know what I mean. Yeah. So if you're not going to use the ticket office or barely use it for something SAFC related. You know what I mean. It needs to be turned into something, because that could be a good resource. It could be a good facility for something. That whatever it is.
SAFC Fan TV.
Sure, we'll get our studio here. Terry, what do you think then? Is it just the club's way of nudging us towards online?
I just think he's solely, at this moment in time, he's just solely thinking about the team itself, building the team itself, getting promoted to the championship. And I think the rest of it will just come in time. I think it divides opinions. I think he'll take that into account. I don't think the money situation about selling stuff in the shop, and I don't think that comes into it so much at this moment in time. I think he's a billionaire. There's not really, you know, a great need of it, but we do need the shop open at some point. And yes, like Jack says, and like yourself says, it's a big building that should be used for some reason. And eventually, somewhere down the line, maybe after this season's finished, they might change it over. I don't know. They might just I can't understand why they would say the shop's opening in September and then not open it in September. Because it's basically bullshit, isn't it?
Right, okay.
They wouldn't have that sign on the window saying it's going to open in September, but it's not going to open in September.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying about, you know, focusing on the team and getting out of the league, and you think, well, great, you know, because that, at the end of the day, is the number one priority. But, you know, it just beggars belief that any business will make it difficult to sell your goods, you know, sort of thing. It's I don't know, it just doesn't sit with me. And something else, what does
we don't know how much money he's actually making online. He might be making more online now than they did when the club shop was open. We don't know, do we?
True. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I haven't got the overheads and stuff like that as well. Well, something else I don't like in the chat down here, Tony Robinson. What are you saying? I think this match will be a lot closer than most Sunderland fans think. Defensively, Stanley are strong. Look for a low-scoring affair. Fancy a 1-1 draw. Tony Robinson. Well, there you go. Man, whether he's got he's in the real world, isn't he? I suppose. Right, well, just very quickly, 55 likes we've got at the moment. We would like to try and hit 100 likes if we can. We normally try and do that on a Thursday. Just hit the thumbs up. It'll take you a second to do that. If you're watching on a mobile device and you have the live chat on, just close your live chat. You'll see the thumbs up. Just smash that for us, and let's get that up to 100. It'll take you a second to do that. We've got 134 people on the stream as well. So if you all just give it a quick bash, then away we go. That will help us immensely. Right. Jack, you briefly touched on the recruitment that the policy the club has now. And, you know, at the start of it, certainly us on this channel, or some of us, and I know, you know, I'll admit I was one of them, was sort of like making noises about, you know, it's nearly the start of the season. We haven't spent any money and all this, that, and the other. And the club was releasing statements saying we're happy where we are. You know, we won't buy people just for the sake of buying them. We want the right people. So, bit of a gamble, and that gamble has paid off for us, and it's looking good, right? Before I ask you the question, I just quickly want to point out that Marianne and Carl Taylor, our friends in Boston, Massachusetts, have donated $5 via the super chat. Can I have a round of applause to them for doing that? And they say, hi, fellas, looking forward to the weekend. Withdrawal symptoms here. They're going for a 3-0 win. So, well, hopefully that's what it'll be. So, for me, it was gamble, what they were doing, and it's paid off, and everybody's happy, right? The system seems great. I love it now. Now it's working. Them saying, if we can't get the right player, we would rather wait until January, the next window, to get the right player rather than just go out and do a Will Grigg type thing and get just somebody for the sake of it, right? What I want to put to you, right? Let's imagine we haven't had this start to the season, all right? We're down in the bottom half of the league, right? And we've spent what we have. Are you still happy with that system in place? Jacob? Would you be happy if it hadn't gone according to the plan as it is now? Would you still have faith in that system?
What, our current winning system at the moment?
Well,
or the
recruitment system, the recruitment of not spending a lot of money, just getting the right people in. I mean, well, it seems good because the scores have gone our way, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think the debate was, how I see it personally was, I know a lot of people were leading up to the start of the season unhappy with our recruitment process because I think we'd only got in 2 players over the line, both on free, bit of background noise, both on free transfers, and we were short in many areas. And I think it was a case of the players that the recruitment team wanted at the club, with Lee Johnson working alongside them, they weren't available. That being the likes of, Broadhead, who we've got, was it Huggins, who we signed as well, Alves from West Ham.
Is that Huggins or is that Huggins?
Huggins. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, Sirkin from Tottenham as well. I think it was a case of, they just...
From your rivals?
My rival, shut up, Phil, honestly. He loves it. He loves it too much. But yeah, I think it was just a case of that. And now I think we're in an interesting position with what we've done is, I think what Christian Speakman has looked at, I think the problem we've had with the squads we've had in our 3 previous seasons in League One, I think there's been experience there, but I think over time there has been a lot of injuries. And I think what we've tried to do is drop the average age of the squad. So we've got younger players in there, younger players who can last over a long period of time. And I think that could benefit us with the amount of games you play in this division. And I think it's something that could work, but we do need to have key players fit over the luck needs to be on our side as well. But I think we are in a better position than we have been, particularly last summer. So, yeah, I'm all for with the recruitment process we've gone with.
Right, fair enough. Robert Foster says we've spent money like water before. Where's it got us? Premier League to League One in successive seasons, which is a fair point. So, Jack, the policy looks great now. This recruitment policy, breath of fresh air, but it does look like that because we're sat top of the league. If we weren't top of the league and it wasn't going for us, would you still have confidence in this, the way we're doing it now?
Well, I can only speak for me, Phil, and me personally, I would. I think the club's in a far better place than it was even 1 year ago. Do you know what I mean? I think this short-termism, there's been short-termism even since we've come down to League One. Do you know what I mean? We're signing get up, do anything to get up without any thought as to, okay, say we do get promoted. Where's the long-term vision? Where is the long-term plan for Sunderland AFC? And I think in bringing Speakman in, he's someone who has a track record, particularly at Birmingham, of really identifying young players to go on and develop either at Sunderland or at another club, and develop not only the club that they're there when they're there, but develop as players and go on and maybe play for us in the first team regularly or even be sold on. I know Sunderland fans don't like the idea of that, but if we get big clubs wanting them, we get 20, 25, 30 million pound offers for these young players that we bring through. It might be helpful for us to sell them on and develop as a club. And I just think now, we're thinking about the future a lot more. Do you know what I mean? We're thinking more when not only when we get up, what's happening in 3 years, what's happening in 5 years. Now, I think we've got proper football people behind the scenes. We didn't with Stuart Donald. You know what I mean? We've all seen the Netflix documentary and heard the comments he's made. He wasn't really a football person, in my opinion. I know he's still involved with the club. I'm talking about him in the past tense, but he's not at the figurehead anymore. And I think there's much more long-term strategy going on now. And I hope people can stick behind it, because you're right in what you say. Things look great when you're top of the league. When we're not top of the league, fans will criticise, and I just hope fans can see where the club's going and what we're doing now, because everyone has to admit we're in a far better position. I mean, last year we signed Danny Graham about this time last year, didn't we, back end of the window. Now look what players we're signing. 2 players from Bayern Munich. Do you know what I mean? So there has been a progression, and I just hope fans can stick with it.
Yeah, fair enough. Bob Bass says it's a ridiculous question I'm asking. Do you agree, Terry? Thank you very much.
I do. I kind of like.
I think. Listen, I think if we hadn't been sat top of the league, I think there would have been people crying out saying, "Why haven't we spent any money? This is ridiculous. We need to get out of this league." And this is what I'm trying to say. Is this a good enough new recruitment system we have now that we're not just blinkered because we're top of the league? Go on, Terry.
I'm not going to go into the hypothetical side of being top of the league or bottom of the league, anywhere in the league. At this moment in time, the recruitment system's changed to what it has been in the past. Last season, we had a bunch of mediocre, slow players in the side. Our midfield was the slowest midfield we've had in years over the last couple of seasons. We struggled. We didn't get promoted, for me, mainly because of the midfield. Simple as. Wasn't good enough. So the way to change things now, to bring the age down, these young quality players in, because there could be world beaters for all we know. You don't get the Bayern Munich side, the Bayern Munich's reserves, unless you are top quality in the first place. Otherwise, you wouldn't get a sniff anywhere near the side. So it's obviously changed. KLD's obviously got clout. He's got contacts. He clearly he knows what he's doing. He's completely changed the whole ethics of the club, the way we go about the whole situation to bring players in. So yes, I think it's good to have something new, fresh, something inventive, something different. It's just nice the way things are happening at this moment in time, and I'm happy. I'm over the moon, top of the table. What else could you couldn't be happy otherwise, could you?
Do you think KLD is responsible for this then? Is this down to Speakman? Has this always been?
No, I think it's Stuart Donald. Of course, KLD is responsible for it. He's brought the player people in, hasn't he?
Well,
the buck stops with the top. If the club goes to shit, the owner gets blamed. If the club is prosperous and does really well and successful, the owners are to get the round of applause.
But I think what it comes down to is people that have had experience at running football clubs on this level. The bottom line was Stuart Donald, he sold himself to fans. Oh, I'm going to be down to earth with the fans. I'm going to drink in pubs. But the bottom line was he was involved with Oxford United and Eastleigh. I mean, again, at the risk of sounding like an arrogant Sunderland fan, Oxford United and Eastleigh are nowhere near the level of the size of the football club, or don't have the following or the passion or the history that Sunderland do. And I think he didn't really know how to run it. Whereas the people that are involved now, they've been there, they've done it at big football clubs, and they have that long-term vision and plan to develop us in 3 years and 5 years. And there's that long-term projection, not just, we'll get promoted and then take it from there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, like you say, Terry, though, I mean, getting into buying these kids, getting into the Bayern Munich sort of like reserve team really is, you know, it's no different, if you like, to us getting a Doyle from Man City. You know, I mean, when you're at a bigger club, even though you're not making that first team, you're still at a level which is better than sort of League One. Jacob, are you one in there?
Yeah, I think building on what Jack was saying, obviously, us fans of Sunderland Football Club, we do obviously appreciate an owner, you know, having top communication with the fans. I know Stuart Donald did try to do that on the Netflix documentary on a regular basis, but I think the way how football is today, it's all about a results-based business and delivering, and the fans witnessing success in terms of recruitment and what you see on the pitch. And I know Kirill Louis-Dreyfus, we haven't heard too much of him behind. I think he's done 1 or 2 interviews, but at the same time, he's got a plan in place now. And so far, from the early signs of this plan, it's starting to come into place. But it's more about a long-term vision, and it will take time. It's still in the early stages of it, but I think with the right people he's got around him, it can work. And with this new recruitment strategy coming together, I believe it's the right way forward for the club, and it's something I think the club is needed to do ever since we dropped down into this division.
Right, fair enough. A couple of people on the chat. John Treborian says, correct, Zoe, our poor midfield is where we were sussed out when we had our good run and teams doubled up on our flanks. Jeff Holcroft is saying he hopes KLD is not serving his apprenticeship here for Marseille. Las Palmas Malcolm says KLD has brought in the right people to put his vision forward. And Marianne and Carl Taylor, they 100% agree with Terry. The youngsters have so much energy, and we also have decent players. So you
have to remember as well, Phil, you know, KLD is not just a fresh-faced young kid who's came over from abroad. He's done his degree at Leeds, so he's been here a few years already. So he'll know all about the passion and what he needs to do to succeed.
Do you think he used to travel with the service crew then?
But he's been, to be fair to the lad, he's been around football clubs all his life. He's still only, 23, 24? So he's had first-hand experience all of his life. That can only be a good thing. I don't care what people say, that can only be a good thing. Right,
okay. Just, where was it? Back here. Rough as a Badgers says, because I think you mentioned, Terry, about McGeady, and he still seems to be keeping his place. Rough as a Badger says, can we not use Hume as an attacking defensive winger in place of McGeady? Would that suit you, Terry? I know he's not fit yet, but...
yeah, not for another 2 months. It just depends how McGeady gets on over the next few weeks. Obviously, McGeady at his age now will start to slowly decline, and he can't play every single game week in, week out. And if his form suffers, then we need to find someone else to take his place, whether that is Hume or whether that is Gooch or the new lad from... I always thought the new lad from Bayern Munich, why obviously now Berlin, I thought he was a right-sided player. I didn't realise he could play on both flanks.
He prefers the right, but he prefers the right, but he's equally as comfortable on either, apparently.
Then for me, I'd prefer to play him on the right, because, I mean, Gooch doesn't always perform. So, if you want to keep players... What, Jack?
I was just saying I'd play if he's fit. I don't know how fit he is. If he feels fit, I'd give him a try instead of Gooch, because I haven't been too impressed with Gooch the last couple of matches. I watched him and I haven't been impressed with him at all. In fact, I thought he was poor last time I watched him. So,
well, I heard somewhere he's been doing double sessions and training hard on his own and putting extra workouts in. So he's definitely keen to get going straight away.
That would do me. I wouldn't have a problem with him starting ahead of Gooch.
You haven't got him in your team, have you, Terry?
I just think Lee Johnson will start Gooch and then bring him on in the second half for his first game, and then possibly start in the next match.
It's all down to fitness, isn't it? That's the thing. And I suppose, match minutes. Jacob, you want in there?
Even though I'm like Jack, I think I would like to see Djagu in the starting lineup ahead of Gooch. I think it will be down to fitness, and I think Lee Johnson, from what we've seen, was it over the last few months and also the start of this season, he is a big fan of Lyndon Gooch, and this week we've had off could have done him a big favour if he's putting the shift in on the training ground, working on his fitness, having a bit of bulk up, was it in the gym, and it could do him a big favour. And yeah, he could come into the starting line. He could keep his place in the starting lineup and have a worldie of a performance. But yeah, only time will tell what Lee Johnson wants to do. But also, I think even though I think Patterson's done a job the last 2 games, I have a feeling he'll bring Hoffman into net on Saturday.
Well, there's more chance of Hoffman starting to Djagu. I think Djagu will be really sort of effective in the last 20 to 30 minutes of a match until he gets his match fitness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see Djagu come on, at least get some minutes. I mean, it's just, I
think he will definitely come on at some point.
On paper, it just it just speaks sort of quality, really, doesn't it? It's so hopefully, but again, it's just nice to have this competition for places. I mean, you're on about Gooch there. I think Gooch, Jack, you were saying the last couple of games he's not been very good. I thought a few games before that, I think he's sort of he's up to it a little bit. And you know what Gooch is like? He's he's one of them 1 in 5 games sort of thing, anyway, where he'll do something and you'll see him. But and I think he might be due one of those games.
Phil, I hope he is. If he does start on Saturday and plays well, I'd say, fair play. But I watched him a couple of times. He hasn't been great, and like I said, it all depends on fitness being the key. He probably won't start, but I'd love to see him if Djagu is fit and raring to go. I'd love to see him start. Yeah,
I would as well. Right, okay, we've not got long left. If you want to just hit the thumbs up, we're on 71. We'll try and hit 100 if we can. Just give us a like. It'll take you a second to do that. And don't forget, if you're watching the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. It's free to subscribe, and that will help the channel out immensely. Just very quickly then, because we've only got a few minutes left. We'll mention that SAFC Fan TV are playing Newcastle Fans TV in a 5-a-side game, which is
it's going to be a shambles. We've had no practice whatsoever. What an absolute no preparation from the manager at all.
Who's the manager? Listen,
you're the one who organises all this.
I know.
You to blame if we lose.
If you're going to drop us all in, honestly, we are playing again on this.
I was halfway down the A19 this Monday. I got called back. It's cancelled.
Listen,
we could have been practicing playing shooties and all sorts of stuff.
Anyway, right, okay. Well, I do apologise. It's definitely on for Monday. That's me told off. So we are playing Newcastle Fans TV. It's the return leg. We did play them at Eldon Square. This was long before lockdown, and we was a couple of goals up when we were 2-0 up, I think, at half time, and then it was evenly matched. And they pulled it back to 3-3, wasn't it? And then it was the last kick of the game, and we scored an own goal.
It wasn't the last kick of the game, to be fair. We had 10 minits to play, and that woman came in and kicked us off the pitch.
Right, that's true, I suppose. So we'll play
that. 10 minutes to go.
So we are wanting revenge. So they did win 4-3 on their home turf.
Do you know who that woman was, Phil, who kicked us off the pitch? That was one of their mothers.
Yes, it probably
As soon as it went 3-2 up, the mother came out. That's it, time's up. Get off the pitch, lads. Come on. We've won 3-2.
4-3. But there you go. Anyway, it was, so we are playing that on Sunday. We're going to do a little we've got an interview arranged with them tomorrow, so we're going to we'll put that on the channel, a little teaser for you, and let you know how that goes. We're going to video the whole day, so you can see how we go. And if it doesn't go our way, then we won't show their goals. Terry?
There's 149 views on the live stream now. Come on, press the thumbs up, smash 100 likes just for us. Come on, we've wasted an hour on either night. I could have been in bed sleeping, but I've came on here to chat yous up, sing to you and all sorts. Give us the thumbs up. Come on, 100 thumbs up. We want it now.
Listen. The reason we haven't got the thumbs up is because of your singing. So
that's it. I'll go and say that.
There's a thumbs down.
F2.
Yeah. Right. Also, just before we go, then, I want to say good luck to Conrad and Catherine as well, because the baby is due sort of like now, and we think it's it could be today, it could be tomorrow. So all the lads on the channel, we're thinking of you. So good luck to Conrad and Catherine. And good luck with the baby, due anytime now. So we'll bring you news on that as soon as he arrives. So that just about wraps it up then, fellas. Thanks for joining us tonight, Jacob. I hope you get better soon. Just say bye to everybody.
See you later, guys. Hit the thumbs up.
Terry has still got long COVID by the sound of things there. Terry, just say bye to everybody, will you?
Bye, everybody. Because I run every day. I go for a run every single day, and I've always got like phlegm and this, that, and the other. So it always like tickles back my throat.
Lovely. Are you doing a live stream on Saturday?
I'm going to Liverpool.
Oh, of course you are.
I'm not in Amsterdam.
Right. No problem. Yeah. Right then. Jack, just say bye to everybody. Thanks for coming on.
See you later, lads and lasses.
Cheers. Thanks a lot. Don't forget, we will be here on Saturday with a live stream of Sunderland versus Accrington. Stanley, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you on Saturday. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. SAFC have teamed up with our sponsors, OneFootball. This is a superb football app and the only app any football fan will need. You can keep bang up to date with all the latest news coming out of your club. Transfer news when the transfer windows are open, see where you stand in the league. All the league tables are on there. Any information you need regarding football is in the app. You can download it for free via the link in the description. Do it now. And once again, thanks to OneFootball for sponsoring SAFC Fan TV.